because it's like, don't always talk.
I'd like to call the Riverview Town Council meeting to order Thursday, June 13th, 2024. Mayor Delaware asked Sheriff McGill that he apologizes for not being here tonight. That this is only his second meeting he's missed in 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you all would, join me in the pledge, please. I pledge to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, I could bring it.
Everyone should receive their minutes in their packet. We have two sets for approval. I just need a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Thank you, Sarah. So I have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Debbie. Let's go around the room.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and since Clarence is sitting in the seat tonight, when we vote, he'll participate in votes.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with I was supposed to say that before we got to that. Technically, the mayor can vote anytime he wants to, but we just, as a practice, have always had him only vote in the case of a tiebreaker, so.
Treasurer's report. Everyone received a copy of the treasurer's report. Do you have any questions on that? Bills for payment. Any questions on the bills for the month? All right. I just need a motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion to pay bills?
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sharon. Go around the room.
Yes.
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 Please report, Chief.
Two things. One of them I talked about in the budget meeting, but that was we have basically final notice that we are receiving the equipment grant from DCGS to buy new computers. Again, kudos to Jeremy for running that application process. There's a couple of tweaks we have to do in order to get the final letter, but that's a $30,000 project that Sergeant Cook helped spearhead us getting that funded. The other thing is, it is exceedingly hard to hire police officers right now, and through a stroke of luck, or good fortune, or whatever you want to call it, we've managed to hire somebody pretty much, we got an application today that we announced that we ended up hiring him about a week or 10 days later. It's a part-time officer that's Justin Baker, who is currently working for the sheriff's office. He works for us part-time. He's a great fit. He's a great team player. He knows the town. He knows how we do police work. So he'll be an awesome fit. So that's a great stroke of fortune for the police department and the community to have Baker. He'll be starting on the 24th. Will be his first day. That's all I have other than the adoption of the code.
So, every year we have to do this, and I put in the memo the reason is to keep everything to coincide with the town code, with the Code of Virginia, so that our officers can write citations for violations. So,
And then the ones that are allowed under code to be adopted by the town, it's not all of them, but we'll make a blanket adoption. That allows the town to collect fines and fees for those infractions. Otherwise, all of those, all that fine money would go to the Commonwealth instead of the municipality.
And this is something that we do every year. So I just need a motion to adopt the traffic code.
I got a bad one. Who wants to make the motion? I'll make a motion to adopt the traffic code.
Thank you, Debbie. Second. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, we'll go around the room.
Yes.
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 Public Works.
Right page here. There we go. So on Public Works, I just have a couple things to update. The bathroom project is moving along really nicely at the American Legion Park. The roof is on, or the trusses are in. The metal has been ordered for the roof, and they have painted the block and everything. So it's moving along really nice. It won't be ready for our first event, but hopefully it'll be ready for our second event over there this summer. And the other thing I have on Public Works is the contractor on the Spar Mountain Waterline project is scheduled to begin work on July 1st. And anybody have any questions on anything else Public Works that I forgot to?
I do have well, it's not really a question, but a comment. I was down at the park today, Memorial Park, and used the ladies' room down there, and the water in the sink in the ladies' room was not working.
Okay.
So I had to go to the bedroom, but anyway, I wanted to let you know the sink was not working.
Okay, can we address it? No, thank you.
Thanks.
Business and industry?
I'm trying to think, there's not really anything to update, I don't believe, on business and industry.
Okay. See Parks and Rec?
On Parks and Rec, our first event in our summer music concert series will be held this Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. at the American Legion Park. Music will begin at 7 o'clock and will be performed by Virginia Rain Bluegrass Band. Food will be available for purchase from Martin's Burgers Galore, which I've never had it, but I've heard it's really good. And there will be an inflatable there for the kids to play on from Let's Bounce Inflatables. And the other thing falls under recreation, the Timberville Volunteer Fire Department's parade and lawn party are quickly approaching. The parade will be Friday, June 21st, starting at 6:30 p.m. And what are the times of the lawn party?
It usually starts around 5.
And is it Friday and Saturday?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Yep.
That's, I think, all that I have on Parks and Rec.
Personnel? Chief, ACD, anything?
The only thing, you all should have found the financial disclosure statements. That's a requirement we have to do each year, or the council members have to do each year for the auditors, and it's required by law. So those that have fun filling those out. If you need copies from last year of when you filled it out, we can get you a copy of that with a template, a cheat sheet, a guide to help you fill out.
See, I know I had the book.
You and Don get the thicker ones because you're
Okay.
members of the EDA.
Okay.
Yep, so that's the right one.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I had the right one, because, yeah,
Yes, luckily you do.
great. So glad.
It's back by August if possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
When
And
does it have to be in?
Melinda needs it back by August for the auditors. And then, I don't know if everybody saw the email today that I sent out. I got the request, I think it came yesterday, about there's a request from the all-school reunion about a donation for that event. It looked like a generic letter. I think I put a copy of everybody's place there. That's something for council to consider. I'm not even sure when they would meet, if council would choose to make any kind of donation. I'm not sure when they would meet it by. I'm not sure it states in the letter when it is.
August 3rd.
Okay, so, yeah, and I'm not sure what it would be used for. I think in the past they used it for mailing for postage for mailing out the invites. But that's about all I can tell you with what's in the letter there. So.
Now 7:10, so we can have a public hearing on the rate increases on the connection fees for water and sewer. So at this time, I'm going to open it up for,
Let me run through it real quick on what we're what those increases are before you open it for public input. So it was advertised properly this time for the increases. And the proposed rate changes are a 5 cent per pack increase on cigarettes, 5% increase on water and sewer base and tier rates, $1,000 increase on in-town water and sewer connections, and a $1,500 increase on out-of-town connections, and 80 cents per month for trash collection. So all those increases are authorized under a list of different sections of the Code of Virginia. So that's what this public hearing is for. Kind of doing it a little bit out of order because that's what we base the budget on, and my fault that we didn't advertise it twice for the rate increase here. So that's why we're doing that now, before the council considers adopting the budget.
So now, we're going to open up for public comment. So if anyone has any input on the rate increases, please come forward.
I didn't want to be the first one, but I guess I will be. It's Greg Turner, and I appreciate what the council's doing. And first of all, I'd like to say that I'm not opposed to the rate increases for the water and sewer of $1,000 and $1,500. I think the town has been managing their money that they get in from the tap fees, after talking with Mr. Garber. And they have set aside that money to use it for replacement, like they should. I think I'm quoting you right. And so I'm hoping that down here in your line item for replacing the valve and the meter reading is like $27,000. I hope you have that money set aside, since you don't have to, like some other towns that put their tap fees in general fund and then go and sell it. And then they gotta come back later for the water works. The water department has to add that to their budget to get funding for it. I mean, that's like paying for the thing twice. And I'm happy the way that you are managing the money that comes into the town. And so I know the town, because I've heard Sharon talk about rate increases before, about on the elderly and how that goes up. And I'm glad you're mindful about that. But I'd like the council also to be mindful in the decisions that you're making out there concerning the price of housing. And I'm not sure if you're keeping tabs on that, but I mean, it is ugly. I don't know how else to describe it. So I've been going to some auctions around here on repos and foreclosures, and a house built in 1961, 940 square feet. And my brother and I, we looked at it, and we figured that $200 a square foot would be $185,000. And it went on the market at $205, and it had an open house and had 3 contracts the first day. And so people that can afford housing in and around the $300,000 price range, which looks like what new housing is going to be at when it comes to town. I mean, they're going to have income of about $1,800 a month. So if you do quick math, on a 30-year mortgage, it's $6 per thousand. So 300,000 is 100. They got to make $1,800 a month. And so keep in mind what the median income is for the town, and how people that want to move into the town to work can afford housing in the town. And I think it's something that we all could be mindful about, because you're mindful about other things like taxes and increases for water, sewer, and trash fees. Keep in mind when you want to pass these line items for water increases and tap fees that it inevitably has to be paid for by new people coming into town. So that's my advice for today. So I appreciate the chance to work with the town. Last year in March, I was in here, I might have been here before, and the town recommended that they rezone and help in the sale of the land behind the food line across from the school. And so I worked on that for a really long time. In fact, that was the fastest ever that property had ever been rezoned that I've been involved in. Because I went to the planning commission, and that was also advised me if I wanted to make the council meeting, bring in $250, we need to advertise in the paper, we got all that done. We got all that done in less than 30 days with the council. I mean, I've hounded on that with people that want to build houses back there for a long time. It's taken them a year and 3 months of painful thinking about this to get a contract signed and delivered to the town to see how they're going to have to participate in the development back there and have to provide a surety that they're going to put water and sewer and the utilities back there are available. But it looks like it's going to happen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, Greg, you know we're good.
What's that?
Well, you know we're good.
I know you are. Thank you, Mark.
Anyone else would like to make any comments? Okay. I'm going to close the public hearing. Okay, so now we need to adopt the 2024-2025 budget.
So first thing we need for council to consider is the rate increases. Yeah. So that would be, we'll do them as separate items so that council can consider the rate increases that have been proposed and take action on that. And then take action on the budget after that would be the best way to do that.
Okay. So the rate increases that AC just talked about, is there any questions or comments on those? I'll just need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the rates as discussed and proposed.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Debbie. We'll go around the room. Sarah?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to the budget for 2024-2025.
We had the public hearing for that May 16th, I think it was. And so that fulfilled we had zero comment on that?
Yes.
Zero comment. So, yeah, it's just the way that the Code of Virginia states it has to be done. You have to have your public hearing, and then you have to have it at least 7 days from the time of the public hearing to the time that the governing body adopts the proposed budget. So it's as simple as that. No discussion needed tonight for anything on that unless council wants to make a comment.
So I just need a motion.
I make a motion to adopt the budget for 2024-2025.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Let's go around the room.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you all.
Plains District Memorial Museum, Ms. Sharon.
I don't have anything to say. Nothing has changed.
Oh, yes, sir. Do you have anything for us, Stein?
They're whispering about you, Beth.
Wait for the next month,
Rockingham Building Company building cost about $35,000 when it was built in 1941.
a cooking school was held there January 20th and 21st in 1942. Then a couple of weeks later, on February 9th, 1942, the Rockingham Mill opened for business. The tax rate in 1939 was 50 cents per hundred. December 10th, 1941, Mr. Showalter notified the town that he hadn't been paid yet for the Atlas. Now, this is talking about the pretty famous 1939 Miller Showalter Atlas. Those things are kind of hard to get. In fact, years ago, I paid $120 at an auction just to get one. But anyway, he had settled with all the other towns, but except for Timberville. And each town was to pay him for including their information. And that's why he was supposed to be getting paid. So anyway, I'm sure Timberville paid it sooner or later. 1940, the town would employ a full-time sergeant for not more than $15 a month. 1940s, Mayor Hoover, that'd be Ralph Hoover that had the Timberville hatchery. He tried to buy used no parking signs from the city of Harrisonburg, but there were none available. He could get new ones for $2.65 each. That was in the late 1940s when he was mayor. April 3rd, 1947, the town council voted to support the changing route through Timberville Main Street from 260 to Route 42. So that's been Route 42 for almost 80 years. I didn't think it was that long, but August 1947, the new Method Dry Cleaners opened for business. In the first quarter of 1933, the water bill kicked the store was $2.90. And in the fourth quarter, it was $2. 1933. August 28, 1931, 15,000 bushels of peaches were brought into the cold storage that day. 1935, Claire Kipps has in her possession a piece of homemade soap boiled in 1834 by her grandmother, who was 16 years old at the time. The soap was, 1935, the soap was 101 years old and is displayed in Kipps' store. One of us melted by now.
I remember, I had something about that on.
Now later, we talked about the German prisoner of war camp, just for you.
Yeah.
And the one that escaped was working over here across the road at Ziegler's Cannery. And I've always heard they caught him over around the American Legion. There used to be a barn over there, and I always heard that they caught him in the barn, but he was only on the loose for about 12 hours. And I think he kind of gave up, and they kind of captured him, and he discovered he couldn't find his way back to Germany. Then some of the former prisoners, after the war was over, they went back to Germany. Some of the former prisoners wrote to some of the employers here in Timberville, and I think I saw years ago that the ones I saw was written to Howard Ziegler.
Yeah.
Some of them wrote back to him after the war. And that's all I have.
But share with the people that don't know what's in the old Rocking R Hardware building now.
Let's see, let me think. That's where the museum's at.
I'll add one more historical note. Tomorrow will mark my 20th anniversary with the town of Timberville. So, he'll talk about me sometime.
Thank you. Does council have any other business? Public comment? Anyone have any questions, comments? Do you like to bring up where?
Yes, I do.
Please come
I'm
up.
Ronnie Stevenson, I live right down the street here, been here for a couple of years. I walk the park about 4 times a week, so I know what's going on down there, and the place is being well taken care of. The employees that are working down there are really making a difference, you know. And so I want to thank the town council, the mayor, and everybody that's participated, and John, to get these employees their raise. They well deserve it. And if you ask somebody about our employees, how do you like working for Timberville? Well, I got on there to say something good about Timberville. Really? And so we're setting the pace here, how we're going to treat people, and We start by taking our own rate. Now, on them taxes, that's all good, right? But if we gotta pay more, we gonna pay more. But I want to ask you about the cigarette tax. Now, was that your only option on that? The cigarette tax? Or was there any other options besides the cigarettes?
About, to increase anything else? Is
No.
it, or you mean instead of increasing the cigarettes?
Everything's good, but I wanted to ask you about the cigarettes. Was there any other options besides cigarettes?
Meals?
Yeah, meals tax would have been another one. You could look at your general taxes, your real estate, personal property taxes. Those could have been considered, well, and council did talk about all of that during the budget work session, so.
Well, what I'm thinking about is now, if you're asking these cigarettes people who smoke, and they're probably not doing as good as some of the others, maybe, a little bit down on financial, total. Now, the problem of it is, I feel like it is that only 25% of people smoke cigarettes. What about the other 75%? We need that money. When we tax pot, or whatever, everybody's got in common that we can buy. That's why I was asking you, was there any other options besides cigarettes?
That's one of the few that the Code of Virginia allows localities to actually put a tax on. So the ones that we named, like the meals tax, we actually have a lodging tax in place. So if we had like a motel or a hotel or something, we do, but obviously we don't. So that, we don't get anything from that. But it's pretty limited on what the town can actually implement under that the state allows the town to tax. We don't even get to tax. We don't even get to implement our own sales tax. The sales tax is all done through the state and then divvied up among the localities. So yeah, we're pretty limited. Council's pretty limited on what they can consider for that. So and to remain competitive with like the meals tax, the discussion during the work session was it was raised last year, and you don't want to hurt the Timberville eateries by making the meals tax too high that maybe somebody might go, typically it's only pennies that you're talking about on a bill, but you don't want to give the appearance and make somebody go to, dissuade them from coming to Timberville to eat and go to another locality just because they might have a lower meals tax.
Well, thank you for letting me speak here a little bit. And like I said, I thank all of you that's got this raised with employees. And I want to apologize about something. That I've lived here 40-some years and I never really participated in anything like this. And I apologize about that.
We're glad you're here tonight. Thank you for coming. You come back every month.
Anyone else?
Do you all have an update on Garcia's?
No, I don't have. We haven't heard anything new from them on when they're opening or anything like that. So it's
It was targeted for the end of May.
It was supposed to be the end. Well, and it's gotten pushed back multiple times. So yeah, if I find anything out, I need to go down to try to find out myself. So if I find anything out, we'll let everybody know. So.
And thank you all for moving all those bricks. We saw the truckloads go by. That was a job.
It was.
And I understand you've got some plans for what they're to be used for, and I think that's wonderful.
Some good ideas for repurposing those historic bricks.
Right.
So, yeah.
Sure trained up to say a little bit.
Well, since we're speaking from anywhere, I want to thank everybody for supporting the Tai Chi classes over at the community center that PPAS put on. Because we had 19 people sign up for it, and they were really pleased with that turnout. We had 11 to 12 every session. It wasn't always the same people. But we're continuing practice sessions twice a month before the cafe. So it's a very well accepted project, and I hope we'll have more of those too.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Who's in charge of safety?
Are you talking about like public safety?
Yeah, a couple issues here, like trying to get across this main street up here. There's no catwalks or no walkways or anything for people. I think that's going to be an issue here pretty soon.
Right, so we actually have there's a sidewalk project that's planned to go from Main Street all the way down to the community center, and part of that includes a crosswalk out here, because, yeah, we've seen that many times, that it is a very hard intersection to navigate.
Well, I go across it, so I'm kind of hustling to get through there.
Yeah.
And the other one thing I wanted to ask you about was, I know there's a lot of talk going on about this rail trail and everything, and I've observed it real closely from here in Timberville, the wrong way, foot walking. That bridge down here at the river, that thing is in bad shape. That thing needs to be closed off when some kids get up in that thing. It's in real bad shape. I've walked across that thing many times in my 40 years. But a couple months ago, I went to walk across it, and I got about halfway and turned around and come back.
Yeah, some of those ties are getting really spongy now.
That's really bad. There's only little kids going in that thing.
Yeah, I'll have to check into that and see. I'm not sure that, because that's railroad property, it would be up to the railroad to do some kind of barricade to prevent people from going out on it.
Yeah.
It's something I'll look into for sure. No, that's all that I have.
I'll meet with